Okay, I understand calling myself a Buddhist isn't important, but I was wondering if you could suggest a more Buddhist way of living my life, daily practice. More specifically, in your tradition, is there a structure to daily life I should be following, i.e. meditation twice a day, have designated reflection time, designated study time, etc.? I think so. You want to start? Go ahead.
I just had the thought, try to be mindful all the time. That seems to be the most important for me. But now please continue with what you wanted to say.
I find a schedule helps. Hesitatingly, because you don't want to be beating yourself up because you don't have a schedule. Oh, I didn't meditate for my 2 hours today. Oh, what a bad meditator I am. How am I ever going to become enlightened? Wait a minute, why am I not meditating on this? Right? Why am I not mindful of this? Because meditation can come at any time. But I think without a schedule in the world, it's easy to get caught up. You say, I'll just be mindful during my daily life, and then you become less and less mindful during your daily life, and can get lost because you really have nothing to lean on, or nothing to cling to, nothing to keep you strong when you're training. If you're not already strong in and of yourself in the world, you'll just get washed away, because you can say be mindful, but if you don't even yet know what mindfulness is, how can you it's like pulling yourself up by your bootstraps, right? So in that sense, especially in the beginning, a schedule I think can be quite helpful, and it forces you to not get involved. It gives you an excuse. If you can manage to have a schedule, you can say, well, now's my meditation time, or today's my meditation day, or so on. And if you have that schedule for yourself, you can make excuses for yourself and for other people why you shouldn't be doing other things. Otherwise, it's easy to say, just let it go, go with the flow, and they want me to help them with this or that. Well, I'll make merit helping them with this or that. But when you have a schedule, you can say, I'm sorry, at this time I'm not free, I'm doing my meditation, and so on. So it helps you to actually do the practice. I found that was helpful for me when I was in university, for example, that I would make sure in the morning I did some meditation, and in the evening I did some meditation. I guess probably what would be best to suggest then is that to do some, but not set time limits. So some days it might only be half an hour, some days it might be an hour, some days it might only be 5 minutes. Meditators, when they leave, generally one of the most common questions we get is, how much meditation should I do every day? I obviously won't be able to every day do 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. How much is the minimum that I should do? And so, after getting this question often, my answer started being, if you do 0 minutes, that's not enough. As long as you do more than that, you can consider that you've done your duty for the day. Do some meditation every day. I think that's useful. It may seem silly because, well, then 1 minute is enough and then I should feel content. But no, the point then is that you're meditating. The point then is that you're intent on meditating. There are people who after they leave, they will go years without meditating, which is unfathomable, really. If you set yourself on doing some every day, and you don't say how many it's going to be, I think you'll never come to that. I think you'll always come back to, today maybe I'll do a little more, or push myself. Because if you do 5 minutes, you say, wow, that was, my mind's still not even settled. And you'll say, oh, that was a horrible meditation. And you'll say, that's because I haven't been mindful for the rest of the day. It gives you that wake-up call and says, hey, remember, you're not on this earth just to die. You're not on this earth just to eat, drink, and be merry, and then pass away having lived a useless life. That there's more to life than this. It wakes you up. Hey, your mind, the mind is another organ in a sense. You have the muscles in your body, and if you don't take care of them, they become like ours. Well, the mind is that way as well. Oh, hey, if you don't take care of your mind, it starts to atrophy. Your mind becomes weak. Your mind becomes useless. Your mind becomes your worst enemy. And so the seeing this, the seeing that when you practice even say 5 minutes a day, you say, I'm going to at least do some every day, and you do 5 minutes, you'll see that. You'll say, oh, my mind is got some bad stuff in it. I've been neglecting my mind. And that, I think, helps to keep you on the path. So in regards to practice, that's what I would say. Do at least more than, whatever is more than 0. Do that much per day, at least that much per day. And you don't have to I wouldn't specify. If you want to say, I'm going to do more than 0 twice a day, it's even better. Then you don't have to specify. At least before you sleep, do 5 minutes. And, well, of course, the more the better, but yeah, you can add that in there. And the more the better. So then you have your schedule set up. As for reflection time and study time, it so depends on your lifestyle, right? Great, if you can do study every day, when as a monk, having been a monk for most of the time that I was Buddhist, I don't really have much to compare to. I've been studying quite a bit, but even as a layperson, I would always dedicate time to reading the Buddhist teaching. You have these books of the Buddhist teaching. Try to do 1 sutta a day. I don't think designated times is generally helpful in that sense, but it depends on your schedule. It depends on your lifestyle. I would say, do some every day. Make sure that you're doing some every day. If you have the time, and more if you have the community, then you can set up a schedule and do it together as a group. Get everyone together and have each other's support. If you're on your own, I think it's difficult to expect that you're going to every day do some at this time or that time. But if you set a schedule that you're going to try every day to read at least 1 sutta or something like that. I mean, no, I guess the answer is no, there isn't in our tradition any structured daily life, except the more the better. The more Dhamma, the better. And if you're really concerned, well, the answer is to I'm not supposed to say that, but the answer is to become a monk, no? If you really want a more Buddhist way of living your life, not everyone can become a monk, of course. There are people who, I've given this talk before about this man who couldn't become a monk, I think because he was looking after his aged parents, Gatakara, who made pots. So what he'd do, and I've told this story many times, go down to the river, get this earth that had been dug up or had been washed out, find wood that had been knocked down and was just useless wood, and make pots and fire them and sell them by the side of the road. And that's how he lived his life, just sitting by the side of the road selling these handmade pots. And when people asked, how much do you want for that pot, he would say, just leave what you like. If you want to leave some rice or leave some beans, that's enough. Whatever you think it's worth. And that's how he lived his life and took care of his mother and father. He was an anagami though, so the only reason I bring it up is kind of the idea of simplifying your life to become more and more like the ideal solitude, or the state of being in a meditation retreat, or the life of a meditator.
I would only add that it might be helpful to find a group. If you can't go on retreat regularly, which would be the best next to becoming a monk. And if you can't go on retreat very often, then it would be good to have a group maybe where you can study the Dhamma with or discuss the Dhamma with, and can meditate together also.